Hello, everybody. My name is Philip McGee, and before I get to my topic of this short little spiel about something that I find pretty interesting, give you a little background about myself. Uh, I'm a recently transitioned veteran in the United States Army. I did 6 years active duty, stationed in Fort Wainwright, Alaska, and Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And with that being said, the majority of my adulthood life was spent in the military. Getting out of the military, I was 26 years old, 25 years old at that time. I didn't really know what I wanted to do afterwards. Luckily, I found a trade, um, became an apprentice for a construction company, and after doing that for a little while, I figured out that that's not really what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and did some schooling on my own, did some certification tests and stuff like that, and got promoted to a safety manager. And after sitting that for a little while, I started to realize, man, I really want to go back to school. And the real reason about that, it's not just about the money, but it's also about being able to provide for my family, giving them the best life that they possibly can have. Well, as you can see on this chart, I have weekly wages, depending on the degree that they have, or the lack of degree. You can see a doctor's degree, 8 years of school, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less. It's going to get you $1,825 a week, and that's roughly $100,000 a year. You can see a bachelor's degree, which is normally the requirement for a good paying job, benefits, and all that kind of stuff. It's almost the only thing that'll get you in the doors. You have to have a bachelor's degree for that entry level job that you can actually grow from. It's $1,198 a week, which that's roughly almost $70,000 a year, which that's not bad whatsoever. But also that's for sometimes more, sometimes a little less, depending if you have prereqs already done or you were doing something else. And not school's not everyone. It's really not. And then you have less than a high school diploma, and then a high school diploma at the very bottom of this chart, $700 a week. That's roughly $44,000 a year. And then on the opposite side, skilled trades. We'll go to this chart right here. This one's in actual annual salaries, and I can tell you right off the bat, after being in this field for a little while now, been in the construction field or industry for about 2 years, that these numbers are a little low. This is going off of their 40-hour weeks. And I can tell you, if you are on any kind of industrial site that's pretty large or larger scale, you're not doing 40 hours a week. I don't care what job you have, unless you just don't like working, or if you're old, which we have. I mean, I have some employees that are 60 something years old still swinging the hammer as carpenters or full carpenters, and they're just out there to keep moving, and that's fine. Uh, there's a place for everybody, and there's a job for everybody. Well, let's look at this one, very top level, $80,000 a year. That's roughly $1,400 a week. It's not bad. It's really not. Um, and then a supervisor construction extractor workers. Well, that's $58,000 a year, and I can tell you off of that one because I have these guys in my actual my company. $58,000 a year. That's about $1,000 a week. To get to that position, it's going to probably take you anywhere, I would say, on the low side, minimum 3 years to get to that point. The reason why that is, it's because companies, especially in construction business, they're about making money, point blank. Um, if you're in charge of other employees, you're going to be in charge of their time, material, and getting the job done correctly and not having to do rework, which, if you're not good at that job, well, they're not going to put you in that position because it costs more money, and that's not a good thing. I can tell you that. Um, with that being said, 3 years, making 58,000. That's not including most jobs for the industrial side. You're getting per diem, which is the cost of living allowance for being away from home. So you're having to buy a hotel and all that kind of stuff. Um, And that's due to the fact that most construction jobs aren't down the road from your street. There's not something getting built a large scale right down your house every other day or for multiple years at a time. And that is a downfall of construction. But then again, well, that's a personal thing. Some people love it. You get to see a different city every year or every 6 months, sometimes every 3 months. You might be a job hopper. I mean, some people do it and some people love it. It's just not for me. I like to see my kids. I have 3 daughters and have a wife and 4 dogs. I love being home. Uh, with that being said, 3 years to get to that level minimum. It could take more. Just depends on how good you're at your job. Let's go to the very bottom. A helper construction trade. That's $22,000 a year. That's roughly, that's not bad. That's about $600 a week. If you think of it like that, and you go to the actual other chart again, less than high school diploma, $553 a actual week. The thing with being an apprentice, that's what's really cool about the construction field. You're getting on the job training, and it's going to get you to that next level. And it's nice. It's really neat. It's not like school where you're paying money and only getting paid a little, and you still having to pay back that money that you owe. I mean, some people's situations are a little bit different, and they might have grants, scholarships, but on the job training, I believe very strongly in it. If you're not going to do military service, I would probably think about doing a trade unless you're just well off. Some people are, and schooling is not for everybody, and a lot of people waste their time there and get degrees that they don't use. I hate to say it, my wife doesn't use her degree, and I'm still paying for it today. It is what it is, though. But the big thing is that I've really thought it was really interesting is that obviously, even in my field, I know for a fact if I was to go get my associate's or my bachelor's degree, I'm going to get paid more, and that's due to the fact that that's a liability check off, an insurance check off, write off for those companies because they can say this guy is qualified 100% and he's got a shiny piece of paper that states that. Um, and the construction industry as well, it's been changing in the last about 10 years. It's more about the education that you get and certifications that you have versus experience. It used to be, well, I've been doing this for 30 years, I know what I'm doing. Well, that doesn't fly anymore. You have to have the piece of paper or the certification that backs that up. It's point blank, it's that liability thing. Um, that's the reason why I really thought about getting back into school, and I'm very grateful for the Army giving me the opportunity to do that through some of my veteran benefits. And I really appreciate being able to still get on-job training. I still am full-time, working 60, 70 hours a week as a construction manager, and yet I'm still a full-time student as well, online, of course. And I'm very fortunate, and I think this is pretty interesting numbers, and I'm hoping it works out for the best. I really appreciate your time, and have a good rest of your day.